for 38 years. And sometimes we look at ourselves and we think, yes, I have something I've been dealing with. It's years, maybe it's not going to go. But this was a man that had been dealing with an infirmity 38 years. How many years does he have? And he had to deal with an issue 38 years. These are words from the Lord to different individuals today. And I pray that which relates to you, you will take, you will grasp, and the Lord will release unto you that which you are here for, in the mighty name of Jesus. When Jesus saw him lie and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he said unto him, wilt thou be made whole? And the Lord is saying to us this evening, wilt thou be made whole? Why are you here this evening? Wilt thou be made whole? Have you come to a place of understanding what that issue is, so that you can address it exactly the way it is meant to be addressed, for the Lord to hear you? Because it says Jesus saw him lie and knew that he had now been a long time in that case, and said unto him, there was a conversation. So the conversation that you and I make is in the place of prayer. So, but if you do not know what you pray for, then you will pray amiss. 7. The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no one. I have no man, when the water is troubled, to put me into the pool. But while I am coming, another stepped down before me. Jesus said unto him, Rise. As the Lord is saying unto someone here today, Jesus is saying, Rise, take up thy bed and walk. 9. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. May the Lord bless the reading and the hearing of his word. So as I mentioned earlier, we started the series focusing on our ancestral issues. Things that we might not have known, the patterns, the cycles that you might not have, you might not have seen. And you and I have agreed that there is a need to start watching patterns or cycles in our lives. Especially if you have the opportunity or a parent around you that you can talk to. Or a parent or somebody or your forefathers around you that you can, try to understand some things about you, things that you have come to know. Again, what we do not address, we cannot redress. So I'm asking us the question again. Since we have started this topic, how many things have you identified about yourself? How many things have you identified about your family? And again, in this series, we have come to understand that the things that you and I do, everybody would have their own child. The things that we do, if not done right, if not done in righteousness, even if done in righteousness, good or bad, the things that we do will translate into generations. And it's as simple as that. The same way you and I have blood, and the blood is passed on unto our children, is the same way spiritual tendencies are also passed on to them. And one of the things that we have also come to understand is Exodus 25-6. Exodus 25-6. And I always want us to have that at the back of our mind, where God says, no matter how anointed you are, no matter how pious you are, God is saying, in another translation, I will punish the children for the sins of their parents to the third and the fourth generation. That is Exodus 25-6. Why? Because our God is a jealous God. And we also came to that understanding of Abraham. When we looked at cycles, what Abraham did, how it went on unto Isaac, unto Jacob, unto the 12 tribes, which buttresses what the Lord said in Exodus 25-6. So why today? Why this message today? You and I are products of different backgrounds. And our background always has a tendency to play out in our lives, whether you think you have control over it or not. So if you don't understand that life is in cycles, if you don't understand where you are coming from, if you don't understand the things that are playing out in you, in your life, then when you get to that particular season of blessing, when you get to that particular season of a change, then you might miss it. Like that man at the pool of Bethesda for 38 years. So because why? When the enemy sees that something good is coming your way, all they have to do is to go and, activate or do whatever that has been in your generations past. And that particular blessing does what? Just passes over you. I don't know if I'm speaking to someone here today. Are there opportunities that had come your way that, you can feel it, you can almost touch it, then all of a sudden it dissipates. The thing just disappears. It disappears so much that if you're trying to get back into that opportunity, then it becomes more tougher. I'm talking to you today because I have experienced this. I have experienced this, just like the man at the pool of Bethesda. As a child of God, you need to be sensitive at all times so that you don't fall into the tricks of the enemy. Yes, some things are secular, some things are meant to be done. Maybe one form, taking your file from one place to the other. For those of us that are looking for contracts or things like that. But sometimes they will tell you, this is the final stage. And all of a sudden, everything you've been waiting for comes to zero. And you're asking yourself, why? And where do I even start from all over again? So we have looked into cycles. So today, I want us to discuss a little further about the man at the pool. And I ask us again the question, which pool are you? Because the Bible makes us understand that there were 5 pools. There were 5 pools. And I'm sure that if you go, I had an opportunity to go to where you had people with infirmities, lame, blind, and whole, around the Butemeta. If you want to go there, I'll tell you where they are. And so you will notice that those that are blind stay together. Those that are lame stay in one place. So I want to believe that in this pool, the various the infirmities will define the people around there. So, but the question to you today is, which pool of life are you? Out of the 5, can you identify where you are? The man was there for 38 years, just for one thing, healing. How terrible would it have been, or how terrible was it for that man to wait 38 years for something? But, that was him. What about you? What about you? The spirit of failure at the edge of breakthrough. What does it do? It wastes time. You just, 1 month becomes 6 months, becomes 1 year, becomes 2 years, 3 years, 5, 10. And so you just waste time. And it makes you waste so much time. The spirit can also be called the spirit of almost, never getting there. The spirit renders people's life almost next to nothing. Whenever a big blessing is about to come, some forces will come, maybe relating to our generations past. And what are these forces? And Pastor had mentioned, some of them, and he keeps mentioning them. One is strange dreams. The dreams that some of us have, and you don't take cognizance of those dreams. You just wake up the next day, and everything you've been working for becomes nothing. For some of us, it's sin by way of fornication. For some of us, stealing. You would have taken something from somebody and you think it doesn't mean anything. But what it does is it reminds the enemy and it arms the enemy. And the enemy uses that as a judgment against us. For some of us, it's as simple as anger. By a moment, you display a level of anger, and it is held against us. For some of us, it is, one bit of sickness or the other. Like today, myself and Daniel, we were meant to make a doctor's appointment. And somehow, we rushed, we did everything, and we got there and they said you were too late. These are things that the enemy, does. It is now left for you and I to understand where you are and what the enemy is doing, so that when you pray, you can know what to address. What are the signs of failures at the edge of breakthrough? 1, gradual progress, but several steps backwards. Gradual progress, but several steps backwards. Number 2, missing opportunities. Missing opportunities that are meant to come your way. Number 3, procrastination and doubt. Procrastination, these are things that we do. We are the ones that do it. But sometimes you blame yourself so much because you don't have an understanding of where you came from. Number 4, blaming others too often for your own failure. So the Lord is telling us today, you need to take responsibility for you. How many people do you want to blame? Blame your father, blame your mother. For how long? How many years? You better try to find solution to that particular issue. Number 5, working so hard and there is no reward. Number 6, pain and limitations. Number 7, as a sign of failure at the edge of breakthrough, rising and falling of various degrees. Number 8, changing a person's destiny from riches to rags. From riches to rags. Number 9, lack of helpers. How many times have you prayed for destiny helpers and they don't seem to come? Lack of helpers and focus. Number 10, problem to feed our families. And these things continue. Financial disgrace, backwardness, sickness and disease, living a wasted life. But we've spoken so much about the challenges that you and I are experiencing. We've spoken so much about our ancestral issues, but today we are not here to glorify our issues. Today is about the pool of Bethesda. Today is about house of God being the pool of Bethesda. And Bethesda means, the meaning of Bethesda is a house of mercy, the house of grace. And that is what house of God is today for the person that can touch the hem of his garment. Bethesda is that pool, again, that has 5 porches. Only those who have that understanding that they have an issue went there. So I want us today, in agreement, I am agreeing with you today. We are naming those 5 pools as the following. Number 1, the pool of deliverance. The pool of deliverance, Colossians 2 verse 14, whereby every form of ordinance, any form of legislation spiritually from our parents' house, forefathers, is nailed to the cross because of that pool. Number 2 pool, that those believing the Lord for the fruit of the womb will get their reward in the name of Jesus. Psalms 127 verse 3 to 5. Children are an heritage of the Lord. Number 3 pool is marriages. Genesis 2:24. That for those that have been believing God for their own partner, that there will be an answer in the name of Jesus. Number 4 pool that I want you to agree with me today is that there will be sound of joy. There will be sounds of joy. Psalms 118 verse 15. And I am agreeing that with you today. Then number 5, the 5th pool, is that unmentioned infirmity. That unmentioned case that only the Lord knows about.